was younger, I used to think this was just a bad night. But years later, I realized how close I might have come to something much worse. Back in the early 2000s, when I was in my late teens, I didn't have the best relationship with my mom. Sometimes I'd storm out, sometimes I'd get kicked out. Either way, I spent a lot of nights just walking around, alone. One night, it was really late, around 2 in the morning. I was walking up a hill toward home. The streets were completely empty. No cars, no people, just silence. Then a car pulled up behind me. It slowed down and started creeping alongside me. Then it stopped, just a few steps ahead. The driver leaned over slightly. A big guy, round face, and eyes that didn't feel right. He said something like, "I just want to talk to you." Normally, I would have told him to leave me alone. But something felt different. Every instinct I had told me not to engage, so I just kept walking. Faster, pretending I didn't hear him. That's when he sped past me, turned the car around, and pulled up beside me again. This time, closer. I backed up and quickly crossed the road, trying to create distance. All I could think was, I need to get home. But he sped past again, this time aggressively. He slammed on the brakes just ahead of me and opened the car door, like he was about to get out. I ran, straight across the road, down my neighbor's driveway and along the side of the house. There was a small side door set into a dark corner. I squeezed into it, trying to unlock it in the dark. That's when I saw his car, slowly creeping up the driveway. He got out and started walking down, looking, searching. But somehow, he didn't see me. After a few seconds, he got back in the car and drove away. I went inside, shaken but safe. At the time, I didn't think much of it, just another strange encounter. But a few years later, I saw his face again, on the news. He had been arrested, connected to multiple cases in the same area, same time, same description. And I'm almost certain it was him. Back then, it didn't really hit me, but now, years later, it does. Because I have kids of my own, and I can't stop thinking about what could have happened if I didn't trust my instincts that night.
It started with something small, something I've only done a few times before. I was driving home from another town late in the evening. The roads were dark and mostly empty. Up ahead, a car was coming toward me. Their high beams were on, blinding. I already had mine off, so as they got closer, I flashed my lights once just to let them know. That's it, just one flash. But the second I did that, everything changed. The car slowed down, pulled over, and then made a U-turn. My stomach dropped. Now they were behind me, right on my bumper, flashing their lights over and over again, laying on the horn. I could feel my chest tightening. My hands started shaking on the wheel. I didn't know what to do, so I pulled over, hoping they'd just pass me, but they didn't. They pulled over too, still behind me, still flashing their lights, still honking. That's when I realized this wasn't normal. I got back on the road, trying to stay calm, trying to think. They stayed behind me the entire time. No matter where I went, no matter how fast or slow I drove, they didn't leave. I started taking random turns, driving through neighborhoods, hoping they'd give up. But they didn't. They followed me through everything, Turn after turn, street after street. At that point, I was panicking. I made a decision I probably shouldn't have. I drove home, but before I got there, I called my parents, told them to come outside, wait for me. I didn't want to be alone. As I pulled into my street, they were still there. Right behind me, I parked, and so did they. My parents were already outside, watching. The driver rolled down their window. My parents yelled at them to leave, to stop. There was a moment of silence. Then the driver shouted something back, angry, aggressive, and finally they drove off. Just like that. Gone. But I haven't felt the same since. All of that because I flashed my lights. And now, I can't shake the feeling that they know where I live. It just happened, and I still can't calm down. It was late at night, in the middle of a heavy snowstorm. The roads were covered. Visibility was bad, and everything felt quiet. I had just left my mom's house. I was maybe 15 feet from her driveway when I noticed a car pull out behind me. A newer sedan. Dark, and way too close. Immediately, something felt wrong. That feeling in your gut, like something bad is about to happen. I tried to ignore it at first, told myself I was overreacting, but they stayed right behind me. Close, too close. Miles went by. They didn't back off, didn't turn, just followed. I reached a turn that would take me home, and I didn't take it. There's no way I was leading them there, so I kept driving, still trying to convince myself it was nothing. So I tested it. I made a turn, then another, then another. 4 right turns, completely out of the way, and they followed every single one. That's when I knew. This wasn't in my head, they were following me. At that point, fear turned into something else. Anger, the kind that kicks in when you realize someone thinks you're an easy target. I pressed the gas, trying to create distance, but the roads were terrible. Snow everywhere, slippery, unpredictable, and I had to stay in control. I live in a rural area. There's nothing out there, no help, no quick way out, and I couldn't even grab my phone. It took everything just to keep the car steady. So I made a decision. I was going to outrun them. It was about 20 miles to the next town, the only place with lights at that hour, and they stayed right behind me, almost the entire way, close enough to see every move I made. I was sliding around corners, fighting to keep control, and somehow they were still there, pushing just as hard. The roads twisted, turn after turn, hill after hill, and they didn't give up. Finally, I reached the edge of town, lights, houses, something that felt a little safer. I turned off the main road into side streets, weaving through neighborhoods, turning randomly, not even thinking anymore, just trying to lose them. And then, suddenly, their headlights were gone. I slowed down, checked my mirrors. Nothing. They were gone, just like that. I didn't stop. I kept driving, looping around, making sure I was completely alone. Only when I was sure did I head back home. I made it. I'm safe. But now, sitting here, thinking about it, I'm not just scared, I'm angry, because someone out there decided to follow me for miles in the middle of a storm, and I still don't know why.